saying goodbye to the man whose death sparked a global movement. The families of Ahmaud Arbery, Michael Brown, Botham Jean, and Eric Garner stand shoulder to shoulder with Floyd's family as Vice President Biden visits privately with his family and Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna. The family prepares to lay George to rest. His friends and family vow not to give up in the fight for justice.
We will get justice. We will get it. We will not let this door close.
Facing a judge, the former Minneapolis police officer charged with the murder of George Floyd, making his first court appearance, held on more than $1 million bail, as more cases of alleged police brutality surface across the country, and those calls to defund the police intensify. What they could mean for law enforcement as we know it.
President Trump slams calls to defund police.
There won't be defunding. There won't be dismantling of our police.
Joe Biden against it too as Democrats unveil new proposals for police reform. One of the lawmakers behind that bill, Senator Kamala Harris, joins us live.
Coronavirus crisis. The frightening surge in cases worldwide setting a new one-day high. While cases spike in at least 20 states, hospitals buckling in Arizona. The new concerns as the country reopens.
Prince Andrew fires back after the Justice Department slams him, saying he is not cooperating in his Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Will the royal be forced to testify?
Two storms combine on a collision course for the Midwest after wreaking havoc in the South. The remains of Cristobal on the move north to merge with a new storm system, bringing threats for tornadoes to the Midwest. We're tracking the latest this morning.
And celebrating the life of Bonnie Pointer. Tributes pouring in for the Grammy winner and one of the founding members of the Pointer Sisters. We remember the legendary singer this morning.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. We hope you're doing well this morning as the protests that have cascaded across the country the last 2 weeks advance toward a new phase. Debates in Washington on police reform and a farewell to George Floyd in Houston.
Take a look at this march in Portland. Thousands of demonstrators shutting down Highway I-84. And then take a look at this moving candlelight vigil in Houston at George Floyd's alma mater.
It is sure to be an emotional day there in Houston for the funeral of George Floyd. The private service follows a day in which thousands of people attended his public viewing. TJ Holmes is there in Houston for us, spoke with a lot of family members and friends of George Floyd. Good morning, TJ.
Hey, good morning to you, Robin. Millions of people all over the world know his name, but this is where they know him. George Floyd has come home to Houston, where the anger over, the outrage over, and the image of his death now gives way in a few hours to a celebration of his life. And Robin, yes, for the past couple of weeks, we have seen those protesters. We have heard those loud voices in the streets. Yesterday, we saw mourners have quiet, individual moments with George Floyd in church.
After memorial services for George Floyd in other cities, this was his hometown's chance, Houston's chance, to pay its respects at a final public viewing and memorial.
This man whose death has changed the world, he's changed the world. You have to come.
Many mourners, including Texas Governor Greg Abbott, bowed their heads as they stood in front of Floyd's open gold casket. Others dropped down to a knee. Many more wearing shirts with his picture and his words, "I can't breathe."
It was kind of a little overwhelming going inside. I was like, my heart was in my hand.
The number of people allowed in the church at a time was limited to adhere to social distancing guidelines. People were required to wear masks, and gloves also had their temperatures checked as they entered. And among the many who traveled across the country to be here, the families of Ahmaud Arbery and Eric Garner standing shoulder to shoulder with Floyd's family, showing solidarity in their fight for justice.
Thank y'all. We will get justice. We will get it. We will not let this door close.
Vice President Joe Biden visited privately with Floyd's family earlier in the day. This picture from the family shows Biden with Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna. And it's not just the church. People also heading to see this mural in Floyd's honor in his old neighborhood, now a place of mourning.
It doesn't look like much now, but this home is now part of the story, the childhood home of the man whose death has now sparked the movement.
It's a door right here in the kitchen.
His childhood friend, who will be a pallbearer later this morning, remembering the good times.
This was the last house that we stayed in before everybody got grown and started getting their own places. So I stayed in the house with him all my life, same bed, same everything. I've been with him all my life.
Also attending the funeral today, his friend, rapper and community activist Trey the Truth.
How do you balance that in your heart as a friend to know that him not being here might be the catalyst for something we've never seen before?
Yes, it's definitely hurtful that he's gone. He should be here. I feel like he should have been saved. But the fact that he's not is the fact that we have to go 50 times harder to make sure we continue the vision, we continue the direction of where things going.
And the service today is a private funeral, public not invited to this. Vice President Biden will have a taped message that plays, but he will not attend. Did not want the Secret Service and security to kind of disrupt things and cause some inconvenience for the people who are attending. They did have 6,300 people officially come to the viewing yesterday, Robin, and he will be buried, George Floyd, buried today in a cemetery next to his mother.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful that it's going to be a time for the family. You know, it's been so public. And the last images that many people had of George Floyd, you know, I don't have to tell you, we know the last image that many people saw of him. So those 6,300 who were able to see him resting in peace had to be something there, TJ.
Yeah, I had several people mention that in particular, Robin. And if everybody at home, if you just take a moment, if you close your eyes, and I say to you, George Floyd, the first image pops into your mind is going to be him on the ground with a knee on his neck. And several people, no one would ever want to see someone in a casket, but I had several people say to see him at peace was a different image that they now have in their mind that they actually did appreciate, Robin.
Yeah, and what do you think about going forward now that he's going to be laid to rest? We saw the protesters out in Portland, all across the country again yesterday. The feeling is that that will continue for some time?
Well, there's a fear that it might not. There's been anger, outrage, emotion. We've had moments, right? People waiting for an arrest, waiting for things to happen. Well, today he will be laid to rest. What happens tomorrow is some concern. How do you keep this up and make sure this death is not in vain? Concern about it, commitment to continue, but there is some concern, Robin. What happens tomorrow?
But today is the day for George Floyd's family. TJ, thank you, and want everybody to know that they can tune in to our special coverage of George Floyd's funeral today at noon, his homegoing. Amy?
Well, Robin, now to that first court appearance for Derek Chauvin, facing second-degree murder charges in the killing of George Floyd. The former Minneapolis police officer appearing via closed circuit as a judge set his bail at more than $1 million. Alex Perez is in Minneapolis with the latest on that. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Amy. In the wake of George Floyd's death, allegations of police misconduct, along with video to prove it, are popping up across the country. All of this as Derek Chauvin appears in court for the first time.
Fired Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin making his first appearance in court Monday afternoon via video conference. Prosecutor saying the 44-year-old accused of killing George Floyd jammed his knee on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes as he, quote, went limp. Chauvin charged with second-degree murder without intent, second-degree manslaughter, and third-degree murder. Ordered held on $1.25 million bail. The attorney for former officer Thomas Lane, one of the 3 other officers charged in George Floyd's death, seen holding Floyd's feet, telling me his client was a rookie, only on the force 4 days.
Was he afraid of Chauvin?
He relied on his 20-year experienced officer, and that's why he didn't do anything. He thought that this man knew what he was doing.
Now, surfacing across the country, more cases of alleged police brutality. In New Mexico Monday, a white police officer charged with involuntary manslaughter after putting his knee on the neck of a Hispanic man back in February. Prosecutors say it led to his death. And overnight in Shreveport, Louisiana, 4 officers now on leave after this video obtained by KSLA News showing what witnesses believe are the final moments of Tommy McLaughlin Jr.'s life back in April. The DA says it took police 54 days to hand over their files and that vital information was missing. All as calls to defund the police intensifies. Defunding meaning diverting some funds from police to other social programs.
We have to reorient police officers to recognize that their role is to protect people, not to control them.
L.A. and New York already announcing they'll make cuts. Others calling for disbanding departments. It's been done successfully before. In 2013, Camden, New Jersey, for years considered one of the deadliest cities in the country, disbanded and rebuilt their entire police department.
There was a reinvestment into the school systems, and by employing a policing practice wherein we stopped focusing on the number of tickets we wrote or the amount of arrests we made, what we were more interested in was making people feel safer, making people trust us, or getting people to trust us.
And by all accounts, in Camden, officials say the changes help to lower crime and better the relationship with the community. As for those 4 officers accused here, all remain in custody. George?
Okay, Alex, thanks very much. We're going to go to Washington now, where the protests have sparked a new debate on how to reform policing and prevent police brutality. Both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden have come out against calls to defund the police, but there are big differences over what should be done now. Our senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce is tracking the latest. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, defunding the police has become a rallying cry for some protesters. The words actually now written in that mural here on the street leading to the White House. And now the president is pouncing on these calls to try and paint Democrats as anti-law enforcement.
Eager to cast himself as the law and order candidate, President Trump is slamming calls to defund the police.
There won't be defunding. There won't be dismantling of our police. And there's not going to be any disbanding of our police.
The president says he's considering some police reforms, but has yet to put forth any plan.
We're going to work and we're going to talk about ideas how we can do it better and how we can do it, if possible, in a much more gentle fashion.
Joe Biden is calling for an overhaul of law enforcement and expressing solidarity with the protesters. But on Monday night, he said he also opposes defunding the police.
No, I don't support defunding the police. I support conditioning federal aid to police based on whether or not they meet certain basic standards of decency and honorableness.
On Capitol Hill, Democrats taking a knee in George Floyd's memory as they unveiled sweeping police reforms that would ban chokeholds, create a national registry of police misconduct, and make it easier to prosecute an officer. What the proposal does not include any measures to defund the police.
And now the president is planning to get back out on the trail. His campaign says they're looking to resume those big rallies in the next 2 weeks, despite concerns about the pandemic. We know the president thrives on these massive crowds, and he is eager to get back out there and tout what he says is an economic comeback. George.
Okay, Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Let's bring in now Senator Kamala Harris from California. Senator Harris, thank you for joining us this morning. We just saw Mary's piece right there. You saw what President Trump said yesterday. He's slamming Democrats, saying radical left Democrats are behind defunding the police. How do you respond to that?
Yeah. Well, it's creating fear where none is necessary. Listen, here's the thing. George, we all witnessed the tragic murder of George Floyd. The people protesting in the streets are protesting what has been a long-standing issue in America that needs to be addressed. And it can be done in a way that does not require us to create fear in people. The reality of it all is this. There needs to be accountability and consequence for anyone who breaks the law and breaks the rules. And so what we're talking about in our package of bills is doing just that. And separately, we really do have to get to a point where we agree that the status quo way of thinking about achieving safety is really wrong when it assumes that the best way to achieve more safety is to put more police on the streets. It's just wrong. You know how you create more safety? You fund public schools, and it wouldn't be the case that in America today, 2/3 of our public school teachers come out of their own pocket to help pay for school supplies. The way you create more safety is people have access to health care, and it's affordable. The way you create more safety is the jobs in the community and economic opportunities and access to capital. And you can look at any middle or upper middle class suburb in America. You don't see police presence there, but what you do see there are good schools.
So does that mean
people have jobs? They have incomes that help them get through the end of the month.
So does that mean you support proposals like what we've seen in Los Angeles? Mayor Eric Garcetti saying, take some of the money from policing, about $150 million, invest it in health initiatives, training initiatives for youth.
I support investing in communities so that they become more healthy and therefore more safe. Right now, what we're seeing in America is many cities spend over 1/3 of their entire city budget on policing. But meanwhile, we've been defunding public schools for years in America. We've got to re-examine what we're doing with American taxpayer dollars and ask the question, are we getting the right return on our investment? Are we actually creating healthy and safe communities? And that's a legitimate conversation, and it requires a really critical evaluation. I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
So does it mean, bottom line, we need fewer police on the streets of America right now?
It means that we need to invest in communities, George. It means that we need to invest in educating our children when, if you look at it over a course of time, we have defunded public schools in America. It means that we need to create economic opportunities, access to capital for small businesses in the midst of this coronavirus, which is still present. 90% of minority and women-owned businesses, small businesses, did not get access to the PPP. That's got to change. We need to recognize that if you invest in communities, they will be healthy, they will be strong, and we won't have a need for militarization of police, right? We have to stop that. We have to stop militarization of police. But that doesn't mean we get rid of police. Of course not.
So does Joe Biden
have to be practical about this?
Does Joe Biden have the formula right? Don't defund the police, but condition federal money on reforms in policing?
Listen, Joe Biden believes that we need to reform the system, and I couldn't agree with him more.
And do you have any hope right now of getting Republican support for your reforms?
I do, actually, George. You know, when I look at these marches, people who seemingly have nothing in common are marching together, shoulder to shoulder, speaking about what is our collective desire to achieve the ideals of our country, including equal justice under law. And I think you look at Mitt Romney, who was the Republican nominee for president, and he was out there with the people saying the phrase Black Lives Matter. I feel very hopeful about this because this is just, it is literally, it should not be a partisan issue. This is about the fact that good policing is good for America, that racism hurts all Americans regardless of their race.
Senator Harris, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
George, we are following a lot of other headlines this morning, including the very latest on that new spike in COVID cases as the country reopens, plus the soap opera star testing positive and battling the virus in the hospital, and why some are saying eye protection is crucial. Dr. Ashton is here to break that all down for us. But first, let's go to Ginger.
And a lot of headlines coming out of what was left of Cristobal. Let's go ahead and start with what happened in Jackson, Mississippi. Saturated ground, inches of rain, and then 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. You had those trees into homes. Fortunately, everybody there was okay. You don't see remnants, by the way, of a tropical storm making its way into Wisconsin very often, especially this far west. This is pretty unique. And today, you're going to have that moisture surging north and enough lift that you could have damaging winds and even a tornado threat. Back here in parts of Nebraska and Kansas and Missouri, including Kansas City, there's a large hail threat too. So we're talking 2-inch hail or greater. Very important. 2 areas where you could see super gusty winds, 50 mile per hour gusts possible in Chicago. Grand Rapids is going to see it. Sioux Falls down to the western panhandle and Oklahoma. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the Tuesday trivia sponsored by Capital One.
Add some resistance. Sarah, your Movie Plus trial is about to expire. Do you want to continue or cancel?
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
And it's going to be awfully humid, too, for the afternoon. So get out early today. Stormwatch 7 forecasting 93 degrees, that high humidity making it feel like 95. Tomorrow will feel more like 97, 98 degrees. Oppressive humidity and storms coming in late. Lingering showers, maybe even a thunderstorm or two on Thursday. Then sunshine back on Friday, the high 88. Your weekend now, maybe a few showers will be passing through the area on Sunday in cooler readings under 80.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis or psoriatic arthritis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats differently for psoriasis